Hi, I am Rachel, and I am just so honored and privileged to be able to teach this 2-practice class on trauma. And we're going to break it down a little bit and build on it. But this first class, we're going to focus a lot on awareness. So yoga, which actually means unity, and you'll hear the phrase mind-body a lot, it helps to connect your mind to what's happening in your body and vice versa. And trauma, a lot of times it's shown that it separates the mind and body, that the fight and flight and freeze mechanism in our body is so heightened that we just operate out of that, and we're not really aware of where we hold that in our body or when it comes up. We just kind of react, and that's understandable. That's just how trauma can work sometimes. So when we practice, we're giving ourselves a space and hopefully a very mindful teaching that helps you wake up to the sensations in your body. And then through that, you can add a little bit of care, which a lot of times in trauma, we also can feel very alone, or the shame around it can help us feel very isolated and alone. And so through yoga, we notice that our own caring mammalian system we can use for ourselves, and we'll focus more on that in the second practice. But we can also notice that the ground is supporting us, the air in the room is coming in and going out and supporting us, and that we actually do have the tools to help ourselves learn and grow. And this is Ellie. She likes to help. So she might come back, and hopefully you think cats help you with trauma as well. So I'm just so glad that you're choosing to do this. I think that not only it helps you, but it will help all of those that you understand are going through something traumatic or have gone through. So if this is brand new to you, I just want to give you an open invitation to give yourself grace, to just go with the flow. If anything doesn't feel quite right, you're just going to adapt and do whatever your body asks for, which even that can be hard if it's brand new. So just allow yourself to notice what's coming up in your mind, your body, and don't worry, I'll guide you through that part as well. All right, so find yourselves on your mat if you have one. If not, just give yourself enough space that you can move side to side and you're just not going to be cramped. And so to begin, we are going to sit up because I just want to teach you a little bit about breath awareness. So to find our posture, I want you to put your feet down, lift, and then drop your tailbone back. And then hug your knees and inhale, lift the crown of the head. So you'll notice you separated your vertebrae nice and tall, tail to crown. And now take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, cross your ankles and just let yourself come to what's called an easy pose. So see if you can find that same feeling in your spine, nice and tall. And then open up the shoulders by taking them back. So you feel like your collarbones kind of smile out. And then sometimes that, if you're really flexible, your back will arch. So I also want you to hug the lowest rib in. Yeah. So we're going to start just grounding our hands. So place them on your knees. If you feel comfortable, I want you to close your eyes. And now take a deep breath. And just notice where it is in your body. So what part of your body moves up, down. Feel the grounding of your hands. Let that steady you onto your legs. And then become aware of where you touch the mat. So everywhere beneath you and how steady and grounded it is. And then I want you to start at the very top of your head. So right around your forehead, the crown. And just notice how those muscles feel. Take a deep breath. And then scan through your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, and simply notice. So this key of awareness is all you're doing is witnessing it. You're not needing to change it. And then your neck. Notice how it feels. And now your shoulders, your upper back, your chest. Notice how it feels. Notice if anything is tight or even healthy. And then scan down both arms and hands. Notice how they feel. And then come into your belly and your full back. And notice how you feel there. Bring your mind into your hips and your glutes and notice how you feel. And now all the way down your legs and your feet. So that'll give you a good picture of just what you're carrying and bringing into this practice. Now I want you to take one hand and place it on your heart and the other hand low on your belly. We're just going to learn how we can use our breath. So this one hand on your belly, I want you to breathe until it moves. And then when you exhale, I want you to fully exhale so you empty your lungs. So try that again. Breathe until the lower hand moves. And then exhale fully. So when you breathe to your full lung capacity, there's a nerve right beneath your lungs that instantly calms you. So try that just 2 more times, just seeing how it feels to breathe with all of your lungs freely. And when you empty out, you get a fresh inhale in the next breath. All right, we're going to change that a little bit just for awareness. And I want you to breathe to just move the upper hand. So very shallow breaths into your chest. And then exhale. So do that again. And how about one more time? And now I want you to notice how you feel. So when we breathe shallowly, which we often do when we're not aware and we have a little bit of stress and our shoulders are tight, it also, you don't get that natural calming, so we can feel a little more stressed. So now we'll come back to the deep belly breathing and we're going to add on a little bit. So you can close your eyes if they opened. Inhale, breathe into the low belly hand. And now add a pause. So I want you to hold your breath just for a beat. And now exhale all the way to empty and add a pause. So we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, fill up. Hold your breath. And then exhale to empty. And add that pause. One more time. Inhale. Pause. And then exhale. And pause. All right, so you can let that go. So the breathing where you come down all the way, use all of your lungs, and then you add a little hold, it calms your nervous system. So if you find someone in trauma or you yourself in trauma, that is a great breath to just use in the moment. And we can practice that again at the end, and I'm actually going to count for you because an even box breath, they call it, really helps calm your nervous system. All right, but for now, we're going to actually practice, so just make sure you're in a comfy space. And we're going to start to use that self-awareness. So I had you do already a body scan. You learned about breathing down into the belly, which I want you to utilize. But I want to add one more thing before we actually get to the mat, and that's just the way of your awareness. So let's say you're in the middle of something challenging as we practice, and you notice your breath is in your chest, or you're holding your tension where you naturally do. I want you to gently, as if a feather just touched it or touched a glass, just label that, oh, tensing my shoulders, or oh, holding my breath. And then come back to a deep breath. So the key is just noticing, and it's with that very gentle touch that we get to a place where we can heal the mind-body connection. Because if we come at it very harshly or judgmentally, and that's fine, that's human, it might happen, it's all a practice of learning and allowing your brain to rewire. So again, you're allowed to even just label, oh, I was judgmental to myself. But those little tiny windows of awareness, and when we notice that we were able to be gentle, that is the path of rewiring your brain to be able to be aware when trauma is rising up, when our fight or flight is rising up, and to very gently guide ourselves out of it or just allow ourselves to be in it, noticing it, so that like a wave, it can crest, and then we can come back to a more neutral breath, space, and awareness. So enough of me talking. I want you to actually feel this in your body as we practice. So come to face your mat. We're going to start in what's called child's pose. So your knees, they can be together or you can separate them. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, shift your hips back, reach your hands out, and lay your head, your ear, or your chest, however feels comfortable.
And so these first 2 breaths, all I want you to do is breathe and notice how it feels. So you're not going to necessarily change your breath. You're just going to notice it. So is it catching on anything? Is there a texture? How long is the inhale, the exhale? And then with that kind awareness, let's start to use our breath just like you learned. So I want you to breathe until your low belly fills. And in this pose, your belly is going to push against your thighs, and that'll naturally stretch your low back. And then using your exhale, I want you to breathe out, feel like you got heavier and were able to melt into your mat. And then try that again. So breathe in until your belly expands, you stretch your back. And then exhale, let it go. So try that one more time, just learning how your breath can serve your body and your spirit. And then come to a steady space. And we did a little body scan while we were seated. I want you to scan from your fingers to your toes here, inch by inch. And just notice. And this time when you notice, practice that gentle awareness. So touch it as gently as a feather and add a label. So just say, oh, tight around my jaw, or hips feel tight, whatever it is, just very kindly. Studies show that when we add this little tiny label, it gives us space. So we're not acting out of it. We're able to be with it and to witness it from afar. And that gives us the chance to grow. So just one more breath. Notice something. Give it an awareness, and then come back to the inhale and the exhale's movement. Great job. So inhale, lift your hips now. So we're going to come to all fours. So I want you to move your hands until they're right under the wrists. So the wrists and shoulders, line up. And then the knees right under the hips. So here we're going to find a little bit of a posture alignment. So lengthen the head and tail away from each other. So what I want you to feel is your low belly pulls up and also your obliques lengthen. And then a little hug of the shoulder blades behind your back. And that same little hug of the ribs in. So this is your great posture. So take a breath just to trust it. You'll be able to come back when you feel it. Let go of whatever it is that got tight. And then we're going to do 2 cat-cows. So as you inhale, tuck your belly down. Lift your back of the neck up, tail up. So you stretch the front body. And then as you exhale, you're going to hunch your back. Tuck your chin. And let's do that one more time. So you're just opening your spine. And also notice what feels good. Sometimes we only fixate on what doesn't feel good. So let yourself really feel that. Yeah. And then lengthen out. So tuck the belly in. Feel yourself long, head to tail. And then when you're ready, reach your right arm out. And then your left leg out. So you have opposite arm and leg. And then we're going to find the head and tail lengthen again. So lengthen out your head, your tail, draw your belly in. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. One more deep breath. Can you lengthen fingers to heel? And then exhale and bring it down. And we'll do 1 cat-cow. So inhale, lift the back of the neck, lift the tail. And then exhale, round under. And then come on back to center. All right, so find that length again, head to tail, belly in. And then if you're learning that body scan, use it here. Is something tight? Just notice it. It's okay. And then you're going to lift your left arm. And then your right leg. And once you find them out, I want you to add the posture again. Head to tail lengthen, draw your belly in. And then add 2 breaths, really reach. And learning awareness, I want you to notice if something is tight that doesn't have to be. And see if you can soften that space. Give yourself a little break, letting go of that fight or flight. One more deep breath. And then exhale, bring it down, and we'll do a cat-cow. So inhale, lift the crown of the head, lift the tail, and then exhale, round under. Fantastic. So we're coming to our first downward dog. So I want you to tuck your toes, lift your hips, and then push them to the sky. And I'll help you find the posture here. So first, to find our posture, think about your hands. So we start with the grounding. Feel how they're supporting you. And lengthen out each fingertip with even pressure. And then with that pressure of your hands, I want you to lift your hips even higher. So it might not happen, but when you think about it, you'll notice, oh yeah, I'm able to stretch the heart, stretch the back. Keep your knees soft so your tailbone can lift up. And then roll your armpits out. And take a nice deep breath. So now that you've found your posture, I want you to notice your body. So again, this is awareness. This is how we learn health. And notice if something would feel good. So I'll give you some options. You could bend a knee, extend the opposite heel, and then switch. That might feel good. Or you could look side to side. So this is just a moment of playing. And as soon as we're aware of our body, we can know how to care for it. So just notice, would something feel good? And also throughout the entire practice, if what would feel good is dropping your knees, going back to child's pose, or what's called puppy pose when your hips are up, please take that. Listen to your body. It knows better than my voice or any instructor. Take one more deep breath now. Come to a steady space. And add to it a little bit of thankfulness. Thank your body for all it's doing to hold you here. And then inhale. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Take your eyes to your fingers. That'll just help. And then walk or hop to the head of your mat. And allow yourself to forward fold for the first time. So here, again, what would feel good? You can shimmy your hips. You can rock your head yes and no and roll your shoulders. Take any movement that you notice your body says, oh, that would feel good. And then come to a steady space. And again, with awareness, since we're practicing deeply, I want you to notice the connection to the floor. Let it ground you. And then we'll use our breath. So as you inhale into your belly, you'll almost come out of the stretch just because your belly lifts you. And then exhale, see if you can go a little bit deeper as you empty out, head down, hips up. And try that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then bend your knees a lot. Lift your eyes. And inhale, press the feet down to rise. So feel the connection to the ground as you lift. Yeah. And then exhale, hands will come down for our first mountain. You can always kind of rock it out. It feels good in between just to give yourself a little breather. Okay, so after you gave yourself a little break, I want you to be able to find your mountain. And this is a great pose, and you might even find yourself using it in life just because it does ground and align your body so well. So to start, I do want you to use your eyes, look at your toes, and then line them up with your knees. So I want your hip bones, knees, and midline of your toes all facing the same way. Your toes can be as far apart as your hips, or they can be a little closer if you have balance and you just really like that. Okay, so learning how to ground your feet and open up your posture, I want you to lengthen all of your toes and give a little pressure to both sides. So the big toe, the pinky toe. And I like to lift and lower my heels as well. So you'll lift, and then you'll lower your heels, and that'll just kind of help you spread your foot. And I want you to push the outer edges of your heels so you'll feel your outer hips engage, and then the inner edges. So what you did when you push down all four corners of each foot is you lift your arch and you open your ankle. So that's great for foot health. But it's also, again, body awareness. You're learning how you stand and how to help your body stand with greater posture and health. So keeping that, I want you to slightly bend your knees. That helps your spinal fluid flow and it protects your joint. And then think about your tailbone. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, guide it down. And then your hips. I want you to inhale and think about opening them up. So nothing's going to visually happen, but when you think about it, you'll notice the outer thighs help, a little bit of the abs help. So, and it also keeps you more open. So we're just learning how to support our bones here with our muscle. So maintain that lower half you just built. And now inhale, lift the crown of the head. And as you exhale, roll the shoulders back so your heart is open. And match that with a little hug of the ribs down. So you just created an entire line of posture. So anytime we get tight, once you learn this, you can come back here where you're more confident as you stand and you're able to relax that tension. So hands, I'm going to give you some options. So you can hold them open right next to you. And sometimes that helps just for a listening word. If you want to allow yourself to see what you need, you can be more open. Or you can place one hand on your low belly, one on your heart. And we'll use this more in the second video. But this gives you your own personal touch. And science shows our own human touch is almost as powerful as the hug of another person. So this is good for compassion and inner listening. And then lastly, hands at prayer is always a great one. Just to turn inside and to steady yourself. So find what would you like for your hands. Let yourself ask your body. Building that kind awareness with yourself. And then standing with your strong posture, the open feet, the lifted head, the long spine. I want you to take a deep breath and ask, what do you need or what do you want from this practice? And it's okay if nothing really answers, but I just want you to be open to it. So one more time, just breathe that in wherever you want to set your focus. And if there's something you want to let go of, exhale and just breathe it out. So let's try that one more time. Inhale this new focus. And if there's something that gets in the way, exhale and just allow yourself to soften it. And again, it might not happen. It's all about intention. And slowly with time, our body adapts. All right, so when you're ready, knees soften, eyes open, and inhale will reach up. So lengthen your body in a way that feels good. So there's no right answer. I just want your knees soft. And then exhale, dive down. So bend your knees a bit, yeah. And then forward fold. So here, place your hands on your shins or under the toes. And you want to flat back, extend. This is gorilla. And then exhale, let yourself relax. So bend your knees, step your right leg back. And we'll find what's called our first low lunge. So you can drop your knee if this is too physically demanding. If you want to keep it up, that's great. So alignment goes here too. So I want you to notice your knee and line it right over the ankle or closer to your body. That's the key. So we just don't want the knee more forward than the ankle. Yeah. And then line it up with the midline of your toes just like you did in mountain. And then we're going to start with that awareness of grounding, similar to what we've done in mountain and downward dog. I want you to think about all 10 toes and really ground them down. And then the inner and outer heel on your front foot. Yeah. And now notice your body. Just take one breath just so you can feel it and be with yourself. And then inhale, lengthen the crown of the head and the heel away. So when you really lengthen the back heel away, you'll notice your hip feels more open in the back. Excellent. So take one more breath just to hold this. And then there's the part of your body that feels tight, that doesn't have to. I just want you to be aware. If you want to invite it on the next breath to soften, go right ahead. And then we're going to make sure the back hand, the right hand is grounded. And then the left arm, you're going to inhale and reach it up. So we're going to twist. And again, with awareness, I want you to notice your knees. Sometimes they want to rock towards you when you twist. So try to rock them out in line with their toes. And then you can look up if that feels okay with your neck. If not, just look anywhere else. And then we'll lengthen head to tail. So your low belly will draw in, your ribs will get long, shoulders rolling back. And take one more expansive breath. And I just want you to feel it. Just let yourself be here. And then exhale, the hand comes down. Great job. Bend your knees and then step back to your downward dog. So you know your options. If your body asks, you can drop your knees, shift back to that child's pose or puppy pose. So take a deep breath in your downward dog. Feel your hands again. Splay them. Help them ground evenly. Soften your knees to feel your tailbone lift. And then take a breath to notice how you're doing. And now take one more deep breath and just breathe in, invite in whatever that intention is. Whatever you need, draw your mind there. And see if you can exhale and let go or invite something to soften that feels tight. Just learn to work with your body to create a calmer experience. All right, so breathe in and then exhale, bend your knees, and we're going to step the right leg forward. we're going to be on our opposite side for a low lunge. Fantastic. So take a moment to reposition. You can always use your hand to help the heel get there. Remember, the key is that the ankle is more forward than your knee, or right below. Okay, long toes. Ground the inner and outer edges of your right heel. Lengthen the crown of the head to the tailbone. And take one deep breath just to notice your body. How are you doing? What's tight? What feels good? And then with that in mind, we're going to add our little twist. So right arm, inhale, reaches up. So you turn towards your knee. And then speaking of, see if your knees can line back up with your toes. So learn how to keep your body in alignment. Shoulders, try to roll them back to open your heart. Head to tail, try to lengthen. And then take one more deep and powerful breath. And as you exhale, your top hand's going to come back down. Bend your knees, step forward, and allow yourself to relax. So take a deep breath and just exhale into it. Here you can hug your elbows if you want a new stretch. You just notice that tugs very gently in a different way. And then we'll use our breath one more time. Inhale, allow it to loosen the body. And then exhale, see if you can deepen. Great job. Release the hands, bend the knees, lift the eyes, and inhale the whole way up. Press it down. Yeah. And then what would feel good? How do you want to lengthen? And exhale, hands. Come back to center. You can kind of just rock it out again. I always like that little freedom of movement. And then we'll come back to our mountain pose. So line up your knees with your toes about hip width. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, push into the four corners of both feet. Soften your knees and attempt to lengthen your head and your tail. And then feel your ribs, gently hug them in. Shoulders back. And then hands wherever they would be helpful in this moment. And with this first breath here, I want you to notice how you feel. And in relation to the last mountain. So it's always a good thing, you just get to notice how your practice is helping you, how it's changing your experience. So just take one more breath, notice if anything feels strengthened or safe. And then on this next breath, just invite in that focus. So where you focus is where you end up. Again, it's a very helpful thing with trauma. To notice when your mind wanders to a negative, you can bring it back to this new intention. So take one more moment, breathe it in. Exhale, let go of whatever you'd like, if there is anything. And then we'll flow again. So eyes open, knees soft, inhale, reach it up. And allow yourself to feel good. How do you like to stretch? And then bend your knees and exhale, dive down. Again, feel that freedom of the fall. Hands to shins or under the toes. Inhale, flat back, gorilla. And then exhale, lengthen down. Bend your knees, step your left leg back this time. So we're just alternating when we move our legs back. All right, so the key here is really lining up knee and ankle. So just make sure the knee is behind it. So that's going to be important because we're going to put more weight onto your knee joint. And then line up the knee with the midline of your toes. Fantastic. So first we give this moment its own space. So take a breath and just honor your body here. And then the back foot, we're going to come in for warrior one. So I want you to step it in until the heel comes down. Yeah, and you'll push that against the mat. And then inhale, rise up. So if this is your first time, sometimes that can be hard. Once you stand, you'll be able to walk your foot out to the side or closer, and the heel will go down. So there's no perfect, that's why we call it a practice, but just let yourself find what feels like a grounded heel. Great job. So inhale, lengthen your toes, and exhale, lay them down. And then the heels, I want you to feel that posture, that support. So push into the outer heel and the inner heel. Notice how your arch lifts. Yeah. This front knee, if your body wants more, you bend it towards on top of your ankle. If it wants less, you come straighter. And then shoulders, square them to the short edge of the mat. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, focus on the feet grounded. steadied. Try to maintain that, and on the inhale, lengthen the back of the neck. So through the crown of the head, it's almost like a tuck of the chin. And so the warrior pose has these two opposing directions. You're lifting up, you're pushing down, and also your legs are going forward and back. So you get to be steady right in the middle. Just allow yourself to take a breath, to feel your strength. Research also shows when you hold a powerful pose, it actually changes the composition of your emotions. So the next moment you can walk through with confidence. And then lastly, can you notice if any part of your body is tight or resisting? And if so, can you take a deep breath? And then can you soften that part? So one more time, deep breath. And just allow yourself to be awesome. So we're going to come down. So breathe in, and then exhale, hands swirl down, back heel lifts back up. So you're in your low lunge. Bend your knees, step back to your downward dog or child's pose, and just take a breather. And if you want to play, you can always bend around, kind of shake side to side. Give yourself permission to need what you need, want what you want. And now another deep breath. So take a moment of awareness. Feel your hands and feet ground. Your tail lift, your heart open, your shoulders strong behind. So take one more deep breath and notice what you need. And with that key information, if you want to try a plank, which is often a strong pose, you can inhale forward. So just notice what your body needs and go with it. Line up your shoulders over wrists if you're in plank. You can be kneeling or you can be lifted. And then take a deep breath and lengthen head to tail. One more deep breath, draw the belly in. And I want you to appreciate how strong your body is and how it's holding you up. And then inhale. And exhale, slowly lower the whole way. So the slower you go, the stronger it'll feel. And then toes point back. And inhale, lift your heart into what's called baby cobra. So your hands are purely for balance. Now exhale, lay back down. We're going to do that again. So inhale, lift your back and feel the muscles engage. So they're really strengthening here. And with alignment, notice the back of the neck and try to lengthen it. So you'll have to tuck your chin in. Feel how that feels safer, calmer. And then notice your tailbone and see if you can lengthen it towards your heels. So you have to draw your belly in, squeeze a little bit of the glutes. And I'll take one more deep breath and just appreciate how you're learning to use, strengthen, and care for your body. And then exhale, let it go. Tuck the toes, push and pull back. Find your child's pose or downward dog. And then take 2 cleansing breaths. So when I say the word cleansing, how would that feel in your body? And then inhale. And exhale, bend your knees and step your left leg forward. And take your time. So there's no rush here. And then find where your knee is above the ankle or closer to your body. And lengthen all of your toes. So take one breath, just honor this moment. Treat it as equally as important as everything else. And then your back foot, I want you to step it in till the heel goes down. Soften the knees and inhale, rise it up. And then exhale, gently, gently find yourself back in. So here in Warrior One, again, if your foot didn't get there, just walk around till the heel finds the mat, come forward or out, and it'll work. So to start, take a deep breath, lengthen your toes, ground your heels. Feel the ground steady you and the power of your stance. Line your knees up with your toes. And then now lengthen the crown of the head up and also try to lengthen the tail down and back towards your back heel. So it takes a lot of low belly. And then shoulders back and use the body scan here. Notice what's tight. Is it the jaw, the face? And once you notice it, can you soften something? And sometimes that doesn't happen, that our body is so stressed and tight it doesn't soften. So if that's the case, I want you to take another deep breath and breathe kindness towards that space. Just allow yourself to be human. And then one more inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come down. So hands down, back heel up, bend your knees, and forward step into your forward fold. And allow yourself to hang. Nice deep breath. So here, soften your knees a lot, and you'll be able to lay your chest on your legs. And that'll round your back for a different stretch. If you want, you can even hug the legs right around the knees. And then allow yourself to take 2 or 3 deep, slow breaths. And then see if you can soften your face, your cheeks. And one more, just let yourself relax into this hug. And then release the arms if you have them, clasped. And then bend your knees, lift your eyes, that'll get your blood flow going, and push down to rise it up. So if you want to back bend, you want to bend your knees, take your tailbone back, and that'll help every vertebrae arc. One more deep breath, however you're stretching. And exhale, hands come down. And you can just shake it out again. So roll around, give yourself a little break. And then come to your mountain pose when you're ready. So we'll line up our feet again, knees, toes, hips. Lengthen head to tail. Hug the ribs gently and open the shoulders and the hip joints. And then hands, where would you like them in this moment? Take a nice deep breath. As you exhale, ground into the feet. As you inhale, lift through the crown a little bit more. And then take that note of your body. How do you feel in this moment versus the last few mountain poses? I want you to appreciate that change is possible and that you're cultivating it. So take another deep breath. Let it go. Soften the knees. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach up. And if you have an intention or something you're trying to focus on, can you reach up with it? So notice where you feel if you hold that in your mind. And then exhale, dive down. So if it's kindness, grace, whatever it is. And then hands to shins or under the toes. Inhale, flat back. And I want you to start noticing how they feel. So notice how this stretch feels. And then exhale, let yourself go. And then bend your knees and step your right leg back. So we're in our low lunge again. It's always a great place to transition. So start here, give it that same space. And because you've done this a few times, I want you to notice how you feel here. Notice if you feel different, more grounded, more open, more aware of your body. And then notice where your mind went and just bring it back to your breath with that gentle touch of a feather. So we're going to start to open our hips a little more deeply, which this low lunge will open it. But we're going to come to what's called pigeon pose. So I want you to use your hands to push, and you'll be able to tuck your left knee in, and then you're going to sit on to your left side. So if that is too hard to get there like that, I want you to just sit on your left butt and then put your feet over to your right, and you'll be in it. So here in pigeon, you can have a bent knee behind you, or you can straighten your right leg. So both are great options. To keep it gentle, you can tuck your heel in towards your groin. If you want it harder, you just flex your foot and kind of send it away from you. Again, both are great. And again, if it doesn't feel right, just sit to your left side, bend both knees, and trust that your hips are opening. All right, so now wherever you are, I want you to guide your right knee back a bit if you want, just to see if there's more space. And then we're going to lengthen. So press your hands down gently and lengthen the crown of the head up. Tuck the chin to keep the neck long. And see if your tailbone can kind of settle towards your back heel. And now take a deep breath and notice if anything is tensing that doesn't have to. Remember that self-awareness. And then see if you can soften those spaces so you can use your energy where you actually need it. So one more deep breath just to create a calmer experience for ourselves. And then inhale and exhale very gently. Start to walk down the body over your bent knee. So you could also fold your arms to create a pillow or just keep them nice and long. And here in pigeon pose, our hips are often tight. No matter what we do, we're standing or sitting a lot. And so what we need is just time to allow those muscles to unwind. And in yoga, anytime you're facing inwards like this, it gives you a little more awareness to be able to notice how you're doing. So use your body scan and scan through the crown of the head, the cheeks, the jaw, the shoulders, and just scan the whole way down. Notice if any little area in your body is naturally tight. Maybe it's just because you're doing something new. And once you're aware, then you're able to adapt. So give yourself one more deep breath and just do it to let yourself be. As you exhale, feel your whole body soften. And then gently to come out of it, you'll tuck your toes and you'll use your hands to just gently walk it up. Yeah. So the back knee, I want you to bend it, and then you'll just feel how that is going to add a little stretch. And take one more deep breath just to notice how it feels. Again, aware of your body. And if it feels like it might be good, you could reach back with your same side hand. So your right hand's going to hold the foot. Yeah. And now if your low back feels tight, I want you to allow your belly to come in and drop your tail and see if you can lift through the crown of the head. Just take one more deep breath, just aware of how your body feels. And if anything is tight, try that softening again. See if you can just melt the edges. And then gently, gently let that foot fall. So great job. So here we will tuck our toes. And you'll use your hands. We're going to come to downward dog. So if you push, you'll be able to lift your hips and then shift them back. So you can come to child's pose instead if you want. And now take a nice relaxing breath. And notice how the sides of your body might feel uneven or different. And just see that as a sign of how your practice really does help your body. So take one more deep breath, just noticing how you feel and the physical changes within. And then with that in mind, does your body want this next plank? So we're going to come to that strong pose again. So just take note, listen to your body, and then if you'd like, inhale forward, shoulders over wrists. And you can be kneeling or lifted again, and we're going to pause and feel our strength. So lengthen head to tail, feel the belly support you. Take the shoulders together, hug the ribs, and take one deep breath. Just notice how you feel, and if anything is tight, that doesn't have to be, it could be your cheeks. Just let it go. And then breathe in. And as you exhale, slowly lower. You could go the whole way down or just halfway. And then inhale up. So baby cobra again, or if you like, up dog. So whatever you've picked, I want you to take your shoulders back so your heart can feel open. And tuck your chin gently. That'll lengthen your neck. And then one last awareness, your tailbone. Can you send it towards your heels? That means bring your low belly in. One more deep breath. And then very gently bring yourself back. And take a nice deep breath. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, soften your knees. Let the tailbone lift. So do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, soften your knees, let the tailbone lift. So we're going to switch sides. So inhale, and then exhale, bend your knees and take your right leg forward. So since we're setting up for pigeon, you want to sit again to the side of your right butt cheek. And then your knees can stay bent like this, or you could straighten the left leg. And you want to turn your shoulders to face the short side of your mat. And then inhale, use your hands to push down, and that'll help you lift and lengthen the spine. And then exhale, just guide your foot back a bit on the left if you want to see if there's more space. Right foot, you can tuck it in for that gentler feel, or you can flex it and bring it up. So just do whatever your body is asking for or needs in this moment. And then we're going to inhale and add a little length, so reach up through the crown. And then exhale, very gently lay back down over your bent knee. You don't have to go far, and again, you could stretch your arms long, or you could make that little pillow with your arms to lay your head on. So on this side, I want you to start with the breath again. So breathe in, feel how it's going to loosen and open your hips, stretch your back. And then exhale, allow your hips to just melt and sink. So try that again. Inhale, feel your belly rise, and now stretch all around your hips and back. And then as you exhale, just focus on the melting and the softening found in your breath. And now use your body scan. So start again at the top of the head and work ever so slowly through your body all the way back to the foot. And when you notice if anything is tight, that doesn't have to be. See if you can picture that in your mind. Visualize it. And if it has edges, just watch them melt. Invite them to soften as you exhale. And be gentle. It might not happen. All of this is a process, a learning experience, and just trusting that we're helping our mind create a calmer experience for ourselves. So once you finish that scan, come back right into your hips. And I want you to take about 2, maybe 3 more deep, slow breaths. And simply invite whatever arises to be released and let go of. And then very gently you'll use your hands and just walk your heart up so you're nice and tall again. And we'll start with that little bend in the knee. So you can just bend it. It'll already be stretching. And notice how it feels. And ask your body if you want to reach around. If that seems like a good challenge, you can bring your left hand back to find your heel or your ankle. And then turn the shoulders to the short edge of your mat again, as much or as little as you want the stretch. Gently soften the tailbone down. Take one more deep breath in, and then out. And then gently let your foot go, so very slow. And this time we are just going to sit over to your right side, and you'll be able to bring this left foot forward, so we'll be in a seated position. So just reposition and place your feet in front, and you just want to let them open like a book. Same with your knees. They might be high, they might be low. Just let them be wherever they are. So we're going to take our hands behind and inhale, press your heart up. And your neck you want to feel like is an extension of your spine. So that happens anytime we're thinking about length. So you might want to tuck your chin in, and that'll lengthen up the back of the neck. And at the same time, allow your tailbone to feel heavier and drop. And just take one more deep breath, letting your heart open, your body expand. And then breathe in and very gently walk your hands forward. And you'll allow yourself to round. So you can be, again, as high or as low as your body wants. And once you're there, take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, put some weight in your tailbone. So just notice how that might help your low back get even longer. And then become aware of the vertebrae in your neck, your upper back, and see if you can lengthen the crown of the head and just allow yourself to rest again. And maybe you want to use your tools here. What is tight that doesn't have to be? Start to learn where you hold your tension. And then with kindness, allow yourself to breathe and invite it to soften. One more deep breath. And then very gently start to push it up. Shoulders come back. And you can use your hand. We're going to take the left leg out first. And then bring the right foot against your inner thigh. You can use your hands to walk your sit bones back here. And then your knee, if it doesn't feel great straight, you can just bend it a little bit. All right, so turn your heart to your bent knee. It's your right side. And then inhale, reach your right arm up. And exhale, slide down your left leg. So become aware of your right hip. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, give it a little weight so you can lengthen the side even more. And then shoulders rolling back. See if you can soften your face, your jaw. And then we'll use our breath for 2 deep breaths. So as you inhale, just allow yourself to be. And then as you exhale, you'll empty out and just see if your body has a little more depth. So try that one more time, just aware of your body and exploring your depth. And then you'll turn to your left foot. So your hands can straddle the leg. And inhale, lift through the crown of the head. So it's that feeling of an extension, head to tail. And then take one more deep breath, just with length. You can notice it'll open your hamstring. And then exhale and gently come forward. Allow your spine to round now. Tuck your chin. And then just breathe into your forward fold. And you can use your breath again like you've utilized it in other poses. See where your exhale can help you relax, can invite you deeper. So one more deep breath, just notice how it moves and softens your body. And then gently you can start to walk it up. Now you can stay here. We're going to take the right hand back and then open the heart. So you'll notice this is a nice heart opener. If you want, you can push your right knee down and you'll be able to lift up and expand throughout the left side. So if you chose that, I want you to see how free you can make it. Again, realize your experience. Where are you holding tension and where could you let go of it? Another nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just come on down. So great job, right? So we're going to switch it. So you want to take your right leg out, left leg in. And then gently find your sit bones again if they walked away. So you just lift and lower your body. And then turn to your left side. And inhale, lift the left arm. And exhale, slide down your right leg. Roll the shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath. And then we'll work with it. So as you inhale, just feel your body lift and lengthen. And then as you exhale, see if you can soften. Add a little weight to the left hip to keep it long. And then one more time, breathe in. And then exhale and let it go. Great job. So inhale, rise up when you're ready, use your abs. And then turn yourself to face your long right leg. And you can walk your sit bones back if they feel a little tucked. That is helpful. So straddle your hands across the leg. And then inhale, lift the crown of the head. Take a nice deep breath in. And when you're ready to exhale, just walk yourself down. Tuck your chin and allow yourself to rest. So take a few deep breaths. Notice how they move you in this posture. And then noticing that there's gifts in them and that you can work with your breath. See if you can exhale, and how would it help you? Can it help you soften? Or the inhale, can it help you lengthen? So one more breath here. Just enjoy it in your body. And then when you're ready, inhale and gently walk it up. So we'll take the left hand behind us now and just open the heart. So this is great. You can stay here. But if you want to try that lift, you'll push into your left knee. You'll be able to squeeze your glutes and then rise up. And just give your body length through the right side. And then in this more challenging or strong pose, I really want you to see if you're gripping or resisting. And once you find that with your awareness, invite it to soften. Make it feel a little bit freer. Inhale. And then exhale and bring it down. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to face the side of your mat now. And I want you to make sure you have enough room to lay back. So if you don't like to work your abs for any reason, you can lay back. If you do want to with me, just follow. So you can separate your feet so the knees and feet are about hip width. And then take your hands back and lift your heart just to start. So I want you to get a nice long spine. Take a deep breath just to feel it. Let that go. And then take your hands behind your thighs, draw the belly in, and very gently curve about halfway down. So you'll start to feel your abs work, and you're allowed to curve now that we're in a full back bend. We take our tail the other way. So if you want a little more, you can take your hands out. If you want even more, you can try one leg up, the other leg, or both. And now here, as you're holding your abs, this is a lot of strength here. So I want you to see if there's anything that is tight, like your face or your chest, that isn't helping you. It's not giving you energy where you actually need it right now. So see what you could soften. One more breath, you got it. Great. And then exhale, lay it back down and reach overhead. Point your toes, let your belly pop off the mat for a back bend. And just breathe for a moment. Be grateful to your body for all that it's done. And then when you're ready, I want you to hug in your left knee, give it a nice squeeze, and then roll your ankle in both directions. And then we'll switch. Bring in your right knee, hug it up nice and tight, and then roll the ankle. And then when you're ready, take your right heel to the sky and hold behind that leg. And with your grounded leg, you could bend it if it doesn't feel quite right to have it straight. It just all depends on how your joints feel. Give your right foot a big circle, both directions. Feel the tendons stretch. And now come to a steady space and take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, feel your back body and just let yourself ground. And then become aware of any effort. And see if you can let a little bit of that go. So let your hands loosen, your face, your jaw. Take one more deep breath, just grateful for this body and how it carries you through life. And then take your left hand and put it on your left hip. And that'll help you keep it open. So we're going to let the right leg drop open. So your elbow can go on the floor, and then you can just kind of hold your leg wherever it feels okay. You can even hold your toes if you want. And then just take a deep breath into your inner thigh. Let it stretch. And kindly scan your body again. Let your awareness touch your heart, your chest, your cheeks, and see what you can soften. Take one more breath. You got it. And then as you exhale, bend your knee. And you can tuck your right toes behind your left leg. And then just cross your knee over your body. And now look away from your knees to your right. So you're in a twist. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to empty out your lungs. So draw your belly button to your spine. So that is so good in a twist. It massages your inner organs. It deepens the twist, release in your back. And then again, what's tense that doesn't have to be? Create a calmer experience. Could you soften your hands, your knees, your chest? One more deep breath. And then gently draw your belly in. You'll be able to come back to center. Give your knees a little hug and lift your head and then lay it back down. So that'll straighten out your spine. So now the right leg, place it on the mat. So it can be bent or straight. And then left leg, send it up, hold behind. And take a big ankle roll, both directions. And then take an exhale and let yourself sink back. Feel the mat, ground into it. It's got you. And then see if you can soften your hands, your face. And invite yourself to just be. Especially with larger muscles, they just need time. So just give yourself some time. And keep reminding yourself once you're aware, if your mind wandered to something, just guide it back to your breath. Allow yourself to be right here. And in time, you'll notice that that calms and relaxes you when all you have is the present.
One more deep breath. And then gently place your right hand on your right hip just to keep it there. And then the left leg, drop it open so your elbow can come down. You can just hold your leg, and that'll help your inner thigh stretch. So take a few deep breaths. And even though it's a slight change, it is a different pose or a different moment of your life. So scan again. Is there somewhere you could soften to create a more relaxing experience for your whole being? One more deep breath. Exhale whatever you need. And then gently bend your left knee, and you'll be able to tuck your toes behind the right leg and then cross it over your body. And turn away from your knees, look down your right arm. And then with each breath, just hug your belly in and allow yourself to twist. Shoulders, see if you can melt them both back. And relax even the grip on your hands, your glutes, your knees. Take 2 more breaths and really follow the exhale to the end. And last time, use your abs, bring them in, and then gently come back to center. So one more time, I want you to hug like a little ball, and then lift your head and lower it back down. And here you can rock your knees in a circle right around your tailbone, and then reverse that. So place your feet to the mat now and rock your knees in. So that gives your low back some support. And then you can take your thumbs and turn them out next to you. And that'll allow you to lift and lower your shoulders underneath you. Feel how flat your back is. Open your heart. And we're going to come to your most relaxing position. So if this isn't it, you can straighten your legs, or you could bend one. Find somewhere that you can just be for a little bit as we use our awareness, which studies show is how we create those new pathways in our brain to a calmer version of ourselves. So once you've found an okay position, take a nice deep breath. Close your eyes if you can, and exhale, feel the back body, and just let yourself relax into the ground. So try that one more time. Inhale. And then your whole back body, just exhale, let it soften, sink, and get heavier. And now take your mind to this next breath, and I just want you to watch it rise and fall. And then using your awareness, I want you to notice every sound in your environment. And as soon as you notice a sound, I want you to practice letting it float. So that same gentle attention, touch it with a feather, so very graceful realizing of the sound. And then as if it were a passing cloud, just let it float by your clear blue sky of awareness. So try that with one more sound. It could be your breath. And then just let it go. And then bring your mind into this next breath. And I just want you to feel it. And on the exhale, let yourself sink again. So we'll try that now with other sensations. So how many textures can you feel? And just gently notice them. And then let it go. How many temperatures against your skin? Just notice them and let them go. How about tastes, smells, or any nuance of light and dark? And just practice very gently being aware of all that surrounds you. As you turn them into clouds and you let them pass by, you get to be the clear blue sky. And then come back to this next breath. Just feel it rise. And as you exhale, allow it to fall. And then we'll come a little deeper inside. So I want you to inhale and feel your forehead. And then as you exhale, allow the muscles to smooth and relax back. And then inhale and feel your cheeks, your eyes, your jaw. And as you exhale, let all the muscles in your face soften back.
And then inhale, feel all the way up into the head and the neck. And then as you exhale, just let your head melt, your neck soften. Breathe in and feel your chest and upper back and shoulders. And then as you exhale, allow them to just rest. And then inhale, feel down your arms and hands. And then as you exhale, allow them to soften and unwind. And then inhale and feel into your upper ribs, your chest, into your belly and back. And then as you exhale, allow all those muscles to soften and to be free. And then breathe into your hips and your glutes now. And as you exhale, allow the glutes to sink and your hips to spread and relax. And inhale down through your legs and feet. And then exhale, allow all those muscles to just surrender and soften. Take your mind into your breath now. Each and every breath we breathe is brand new. Never breathed before or again. And so for this next moment, all I want you to do is land your awareness on your breath. Notice every rise, that little switch, and then the fall, and again that little change. Back to the inhale. And as soon as your mind has wandered to a thought or a feeling or a sound, as kindly as that feather touching a glass, I want you to just note it. Create a little space between you and it. And then bring your awareness back to your breath over and over. Trust that this creates a more responsive version of you, less reactive. So feel the next breath and just stay with it as much as you can. Notice where your mind went. Bring it back to your breath for another moment. And now come back into your body. And I just want you to feel anything that feels good. So if you found that you created a little more calm, a sense of peace, well-being, strength, quiet. Science shows that we grip really tight and fast to trauma and pain, and that it takes at least 15 seconds of focus on something positive to create a neural pathway there. So draw something positive to mind. Something in how you feel right now that you're grateful that you did this and you got yourself here. And if you can't think of anything, just bring something else you're grateful for to mind. And just for 15 seconds, I want you to just hold it in your mind. And so grateful for these bodies and all that you did, creating pathways to learning to calm what's tight and to create that softer, safer experience for yourself. It all starts with awareness. So start to move your fingers and toes and very gratefully thank your body for all that it's done. It's amazing how it carries us through life, and sometimes we're just not aware of it. Then roll your wrists and your ankles next, waking up a little more and thanking them for all they've done. And then what would feel good next? You can do anything at all. You could hug one knee at a time. You could rock side to side or stretch your body really long. So find some movement that feels good to wake up. And then roll to one side when you're ready. And I want you to stay there. So you can cradle your head and your arm if that feels good. And on this side, notice how the ground is holding you. Let yourself be supported. And then notice your breathing and your warmth and how your body is supporting you. Choosing you for love and life again and again. And notice how the very air in your room is coming into your body, supporting your life. And then you send it back out. So just take one more breath, just feeling so held and supported. And then when you're ready, use your top hand and you'll be able to press up and sit nice and tall. And you can use your hands to walk your sit bones back until you feel like you're stacked in your tallest spine. I'm grateful that you're here and that you got yourself to this point. Let's finish with a deep breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, namaste. So thank you so much. I am so grateful that you're doing this. Not only helps your body with greater awareness, but you're able to help others. Others that are struggling, or even just with the compassion of understanding them, which we'll work even more on in the second video. So you can take a break, you can grab a drink. I also mentioned that we're going to do a few breath practices. So in just a few moments, I'm going to teach you a couple more things that mindfulness can help you or someone else that you're helping who is dealing with trauma. So give yourself a breather, maybe hit pause, and then come on back. Okay, so if you did take a break, just find yourself back into a nice seated position. So I want you to just have your legs in an easy place. You can sit on a pillow if you like. If you did just sit down, you might want to walk your sit bones back because that'll stack your pelvis and your spine more tall. And then you can open up your heart, a gentle hug of your ribs, lift the back of the neck through the crown of the head, and just feel how you opened and you supported your posture. All right, so your hands, maybe you want to ground them again on your knees. And if you enjoyed that touch of your hand on your heart and your belly earlier, you're welcome to do that. So find a place where your hands feel comfortable. And then I'm just going to teach you a couple things. So the one I did mention is called box breathing. And we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. And I'll count it and I'll guide you through. This is just a physical tool. So it is shown to calm your body. So if you find yourself in a flustered state or in a strong emotion, or you're with someone and you really want to help them and they're struggling in a high anxiety moment or just flashbacks and feeling that fight or flight, this is shown, if you just give yourself enough time to do it, to calm your nervous system and bring you back. And now, it's not perfect. We're all human, so you might need a lot of time and maybe a little extra space or different surroundings. But this is a great tool and it has been shown to just naturally calm your body and get yourself out of whatever is spiraling. So find that tall height, your grounded or comforted hands. And then if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes so that you can focus a little more on your breath. So start by just taking a deep breath so you can notice how it is. Notice how deeply you're using your lungs. And just allow that to give you a picture of how you're doing in this moment. And now we're going to start. So I want you to breathe in as much as you can and exhale as much as you can through this. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Now hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale completely, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. So breathe in as much as you can. And then hold. And really empty out everything you have. And then hold. And last time, inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. So stay as you are. Let your breath just breathe again naturally. And notice, and that might not have been enough time, but I do want you to notice if that helped you just calm or to be present, more grounded in your body. And so you can open your eyes and try that for longer periods of time, and maybe even try it in the heat of when you feel flustered, and just see what it does for you. I have found that it's helpful, especially if you're anxious about something coming up. That's a good one. But see if it helps as well with other people. It's nice because it's not too, you don't have to do anything that maybe someone's uncomfortable with. It's just purely breathing and feeling your body. So I hope that helps. And then the other one, we used a little bit through practice, but it ties into that adding of space, that when you notice what's tight and you see it as not like you're stuck in it. Sometimes we can walk around with a clenched jaw or a tight back, and then, for days we wonder why something is hurting and we're just not aware. So you did practice all that awareness, which really helps us come out of it. But the second layer is once you're aware of it, then you can work with it. And so this is just one of those other tools that you can use to work with it. Now, if you don't love it, feel free to take it, use it as you like. It's a visualization practice. So like I talked about, I think we were in pigeon pose. A lot of times our tension does feel like it has hard edges. There's something really tight and stiff about it. And so we're just going to find tension in the body and then imagine it with those hard edges and just see if you can start to soften the edges. Because a lot of times you can't just say to someone or yourself when you have something very traumatic that you're holding on to or you're just feeling in that moment, just let it go. That almost sometimes can make it worse because then we're worried, why can't we let it go? So this is just a way to just gently touch into that area without getting too close where then we get to that fearful, I can't do anything about this. So this is just a way to show, maybe we can, or even if it doesn't soften, we're able to be present with our body and see that we can hold space for it. So enough of me talking. What do you say? Let's try it. So again, find your posture. If you're starting to get uncomfortable, put a pillow under. And then hands wherever you'd like. Again, you can touch your body, your knees, shoulders back, crown up. A little hug of the ribs if that helps. And start by just taking 2 deep breaths. Close your eyes and simply allow yourself to just fall into the breath. And then I want you to find tension in your body. And so if you're super calm right now, you might not find much. It might just be a little tiny muscle in your forehead. But see if you can find something. And if not, maybe come back to this video at another time this week. And then once you've found it, in your mind, as you breathe deeply, I want you to just gently label what you found. Is it a tightness? A tension? See if you can bring words to the body part, whether it's your cheek, your face, your chest, and then maybe what it feels like. So that's that first touching in and adding space. And now visualize it in your mind. So does it have hard edges? Or is there anywhere that feels rigid? And just allow yourself to be as you are. You're human. It's okay. And now take a deep breath and just hold that in your mind. And as you exhale ever so slightly, see if you can soften just the edges of that tense spot. Let's try that again. Inhale, see it in your mind. And as you exhale, see if you can just soften an edge. And one more breath like that. Inhale, just see it in your mind. And then exhale, see if you can just soften a little bit more. Now come to your breath, and you can still hold that tense spot in your mind. See if it changed at all. And if it didn't change, if it still feels so challenging, can you just breathe and be with it? Allow yourself to be this version of you in this moment, human and brave for being able to see your tension and stay present with it. So just one more deep breath, allowing yourself to be the witness to your tension and observe it. And then one more time, if you like, breathe, hold it in your mind. And then exhale, see if you want to invite it to soften. And if it doesn't, just allow yourself with grace to be as you are. And then gently let that go, and you can open your eyes. So those are just 2 tools that you can use with almost anybody, even young ages can handle focusing on their breath, or sometimes they're even more creative with labeling how things feel. So I hope that throughout this week, if you do find yourself with a clenched jaw or something tight, that maybe you'll try one of these. Allow yourself either to use a box breath to physically tap into the calming nervous system that we have, or to add that little bit of visualization where you use your breath to invite a little more awareness around the tension to see if it can settle and soften. So thank you so much for trying this. This is brave work. It's not easy work. So I'm just grateful that you and others are doing this and bringing it into your lives and others' lives to make the world a better place. So thanks so much. Again, I'm Rachel, and I'm just grateful that you brought yourself to this moment. Grace, peace, and namaste.